All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Sorry about the wait there. It is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. And as always, I'm going to run you through really quickly with the ES futures. Then I'll go over the current swings that I am holding. And then from there, we'll let Melissa talk and see what she's got planned. But before we start, just note that in the daily forecast, or sorry, the daily focus trades, um, you should see charts in there that we're looking at this morning. Okay, disclaimer, that doesn't mean that we'll take them. They have to set up first. It also doesn't mean that we're not looking at other trades. Okay. All right, so ES futures, what my concentration is here is the 4 hour. Notice that we just pushed up into resistance last night. The daily edges held. You can see those edges down here. And so we didn't quite come into it, but bids did come in and we went from white to red to green. So that momentum has changed, but notice again that price is pushing up towards resistance. So this is the resistance that I just put out. So 39.75 by 85. And if you notice, if I just kind of hover over that trendy edge, that's around 39.75, and then our 85 comes in just above the weekly edge here. Okay, so again, supply and demand levels on multiple time frames, that's what we're looking at. So your bigger time frame, you have resistance just above here. One of the notes that I put out here at Simpler that I did not put in here is that I would prefer to see a hold and a close above the upper circle today. So roughly around 3991, 3992. Okay, so that would continue my bias to the upside, and again, still looking for that larger target to the upside. Now, when I think about this, I can't help but to think, because it's a holiday week, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that I'm actually wrong here. But it feels like we would just go back at the end of the week, look back and go, oh, we pinned at 4,000, which would really be a bummer considering we're at 39.77, which would mean we wouldn't move a whole lot. But again, that's just a gut, and that has nothing to do with the technicals, but we are pretty much just trading sideways, okay? So know that when we are intraday trading, folks, we're not looking for huge percent gains. If they happen, that's awesome, but we need to be on our toes. We need to understand that when we are in chop, whether we're going to the upside or downside, we are trimming faster than normal, okay? This does not include swings. This is for intraday trading. Okay. All right. So we notice that we have some resistance there. What does that mean? It just means that we're right in our projection here. You know, prices push up to upper edges, we find resistance. Let's go ahead and go over to the daily just so we can take a quick look there. All right. This chart is also very important. These are the support levels I gave you over the weekend, and notice the support level is working well. Okay. But again, bumped up against those trendy edges, and again, those are resistance until proven otherwise. Once again, bulls, if we can hold above this edge, we're doing a couple things, folks. If we can hold above here, let me go ahead and zoom in. This pivot high gets taken out. We're making a new pivot high and a new higher low. Okay, so we're starting to uptrend within this range, and that's what I'd really, really like to see. Okay. All right, so I think everybody's got that. All right. So again, the ES is how we want to run our portfolio. Now, notice I'm in UPS long. Okay, we've already trimmed. And if I come down to UPS, I don't have to necessarily go into the chart too much. But if I come down here and take a look at UPS, we can see that we are up somewhere between the bid and the ask, 181 to 183.15. That's perfect. What am I looking for here? We have 18 days till DTE. It'd be nice to be able to trim or get out of this trade somewhere above 50%. Again, that's just what I was looking for. This was a nice trade. It's worked out so far. Okay. Now, my favorite look on UPS actually comes over on the weekly, right about here. Okay. And we're pushing out of that demand. So we're looking for this move here. We're still in the cloud. The bigger break for UPS would have to be over this cloud, folks. Notice the yellow bars here. So the selling pressure had eased off. We got into the position. It looks like perfect timing. If we take out, what do we need today? If we could take out the previous high at 181.53. So what I would do is I would annotate that on your charts. If we open up over it, the question is, can we stay above that the entire day? Everybody's different. Again, we have 18 days until this expires. So, I wouldn't be necessarily looking at a 5 minute chart. I would at least at a minimal be looking at a 4 hour chart and then wanting to know if we can stay above this pivot here. So if you just look up and to the left, you can see we have these highs here. Again, need to hold above there and create higher highs above that. And as long as we can do that, I would stay in the position for myself. And then as we get closer to targets, I'd be looking at closing. Okay, that's how I want to approach UPS. The next one is HD. We put this on yesterday. And you can see that price is up about $2 to $3. All right, so $2 to $3, and we're starting to push out of this level here. This is your 4 hour. Let me show you what this looks like on the daily. All right, so another very nice looking chart. We have a double inside and up, and if prices can sustain above 317.52, then I do believe we're headed towards 333. That would be a longer term swing position. For myself, I just bought a butterfly for this week, and again, we'll be looking to close that once profits hit where I want them to. Okay, so that's HD. The next one is going to be XLV. Okay. This one's just kind of sideways, and if you haven't noticed yet, when they close the session, they really mess up the option. So it gives you like this weird PL. Um, just ignore it, all right? Because yesterday they closed the session and they had the bid at like 250 and the ask at like 460. So it just throws your entire PL off. But it's doing what it needs to be doing. All right, so let's go over here. It's still holding, still looks bullish. All right. What we need here again is a hold and close over this pivot high, which is around 135.7, 135.10. Okay, so if we can get above there, and you can see we're right there pre-market. If we can actually hold that, again, I'm looking for my targets up here towards 137. Now, as far as trims are concerned, again, for myself, what I'm looking at is probably 30% and then up and over 50%. And these, we have quite some time on them, so everyone's going to be different. I also want to take into consideration it's a little extended from the cloud here on the weekly. And so that is a threat. So anytime we're starting to gain on this position, I'm thinking about trimming. Okay. So again, this divergence between the cloud and current price is an issue for me. It's not extremely bad, but if you go back and look, I mean, we could continue to push up. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's not normal, that it's out of the deviation. We're within it. It looks fine. They get some nice extensions above the cloud. And, just looking again, as long as we can hold that level, I do think we can hit 137 by 140. Okay. Now, far as my next trade for today, one trade that I'm watching is going to be Etsy. And I'm always, just so everybody knows, I'm always watching SPX and SPY. So that could definitely be a trade here. But I want to say Melissa is in SPY. And when Melissa's in something, I want to be respectful of that and just probably stay out of it. Okay. The only time, most of the time, we'll take a trade at the same time is if we totally didn't see that. But again, that's very rare. Okay. So here's Etsy. I want to take you to a smaller time frame and kind of show you what's happening. And just like yesterday, I contemplated just taking equity here before the open and could already be up. And the idea here is that 114 by 111 is support. I have two different options here from a swing standpoint. This is a 4 hour. I love the way it looks, by the way. It's nice and, starting to curl up. We have a trendy edge under there. It's over the cloud. And our targets for intraday are going to be 118.18 by 119. As far as the swing is concerned, probably more towards up here towards the 125 level, 124 and a half. Before I jump off and Melissa starts talking, I just want to throw that disclaimer out there. Short week. It's already Tuesday, half a day on Friday, closed on Thursday, folks. So that means really the way that I'm looking at this, you could look at today as your almost like your Thursday. All right. So theta is going to be a real issue. Premium is going to be an issue. And if you're not on the right side of the trade towards, I'd say, the mid part of today, things can start looking really ugly. So just make sure that you're following your rules. PMZs are great trades for days like today because we have low risk, right? And we're in and out of trades a lot quicker than normal. Okay. So again, hope everybody has an amazing day. I know you will. We will. And we'll continue to do amazing. I'm happy that you're showing up, that you're listening. And as Melissa starts talking on the mic, I'm going to pull up the charts that she's looking at, and then I'll start annotating on those charts so that I have a blueprint. Blueprints are really important when we come in here to trade. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you. Let's see here, Melissa. I'm gonna send you a quick message. What time is it? 8:23. And I'm trying to get the Roku PMZ numbers because mine were a little bit different. I'm trying to figure out. Um, I have PMZ low as 53.96. They shouldn't be different though. So I don't know. You're looking at TOS, correct? Okay. Uh, Let me just reset it. I am, yeah. Just want to reset it really quick. Yeah, it says 53.96. That like makes no sense. TOS, we should all have the same data here. So, and what is your PMZ high? Yeah, so completely different. Gotcha. I mean, TV, TV, whatever. But if we're both using Thinkorswim, I just don't understand how you could have a different number than me. Seeing that you don't pay for any extra data through Thinkorswim. 5402 and 5393 or so. Let me say 5394, which to me makes sense just by looking at my chart. But yeah, me either. Doesn't make any sense because it's Thinkorswim. If this was TradingView, I would totally get it. But since we all have the same charts, I wonder if your pre-market looks like mine. Like if we were to look at all the different little candles, if there's something missing in there. Not a big deal though. I mean, right now price is underneath the PMZ no matter how you look at it. So under resistance, and then does that mean ES is kind of no? ES is still pushing up. That's interesting. Still at a little bit of resistance, but equity stocks are not really jiving with the market. Not that I could tell. Just mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. 178 points on the Dow, and the ES is running about 10% of that, so we're on track. So it looks exactly how it should. So that's a great thing. Um, Maybe it's just that the Nasdaq is completely like pooped. It's up 32 points. Really, really slow. So, hmm. And Tesla, by the way, guys, on the Thinkorswim came right into my target. I mean, literally to the tick of if we go over Tesla really quick. Oh yeah. I mean, look at 165.45 to the tick. That was my buy. I wasn't in front of the screen on the close yesterday. So, Yeah. There's a beautiful inside and up. Hmm. Hmm. Exactly the one I was just about to tell you about. It looks a lot like those 30-minute zones that we trade out of. It's true. It's very true. All right, guys. Good luck today. Everybody have a good time. Remember, don't get too pumped up until we start to see some bids above those resistant levels on ES. Feels like hurry up and wait, as we say in the Air Force. Oh, it hit your target. At least the one I put down, 168.25 by 167, and went straight ham from there. Hmm. Hmm. 160. Oh, right at the line in the sand. Gotcha. Gotcha. I just trimmed some HD, guys. And let's see. Oh my God. Roku straight into the daily. Tesla over the PMZ. Nice, nice moves there. I'll look at BBY a little bit later. Let's see. Oof. Roku. Yeah. Okay, HD's closed. Yeah, you guys can see that ES came up, smacked our resistance like we said, and so I'm kind of hands off here. We'll see if the dip gets bought. HD was a really nice move there, +5. And you get ready. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good point, Melissa. Not only that, but just allocation in general, folks, is like I think the important part to take note of here is everybody is different. That's why it's hard to come in and ask questions that are centered around money. I'm a huge fan, and some of you guys know anyone that's asked me about money, I'm not a financial advisor. So for me, I teach a system. You have to understand what works for you. So some people in here are trading multi-million dollar accounts, and some people in here are trading $1,000 account. So everyone's going to be different. But what I try to focus on is, these PMZ trades. And like Melissa's saying, if she has a $500 allocation and she takes a $2, let's say $2.70, right, Melissa? And you're really picky and she's like, I'm not going over 500. So she only has 270, right? So she has those rules that she has to follow on that $2.70 contract. For me, what I like to always reiterate are people ask about trades that go to zero. And I have to keep saying this because I never know who's listening, right? You might have not been on here the first time. So if I have this number and I'm okay with $270 of risk every time I take a trade, like I'm okay with losing 270, and let's just say that it's a volatile market and my gut tells me just to stay still and let things kind of shake out. It's for me, it's I'm not letting something necessarily go to zero. Like I'm not in a bad practice. What I'm saying is I'm okay with losing 270. So that's the thing is like you always have to understand those things. Everybody's different. So 10% for you, you might be like, "Oh man, John got out and he only lost 10%." In your account that might be $10. In somebody else's account that might be 10 grand. Okay? So again, everything's different for everyone. My biggest thing is if you're using these stops or the PMZs and that type of thing, it has to be, I feel like it has to resonate with you and your position size. I mean, it blows my mind when I see the different allocations that people trade. It has to be an entirely different mindset, you know. But what's amazing and why I use percentage here at Trendy Trading versus PL is because a 10% gain is a 10% gain. A 20% loss is a 20% loss. If I had a multi-million dollar account and I kept showing you how I could make millions of dollars on these trades, it would entice you probably. But the truth of the matter is, most of you do not have multi-million dollar accounts. So what is the point, right? No, you might. I mean, you might. There's probably somewhere out there, and actually, this is funny you bring this up. This is one of my favorite stories. I was in the Air Force, and I literally hit a lottery ticket. I could have, but I was like, I don't know why. No, I do remember why. I was getting ready to retire, and LinkedIn, you guys remember LinkedIn? LinkedIn, I hated the company, that me personally. I just didn't like it. I was looking at the numbers, just checking out things, and I said, next time they have a quarterly earnings, I'm going to short it, right? And so somehow I had it written on my notepad and just didn't make it. Probably was in a meeting. We had a lot of meetings in the Air Force. Probably was in a meeting or something. Those options that I have picked out, this is a true story, folks, went up 235%. Sorry, 235,000%. Sorry, I missed that. This is no lie. Yeah, 235,000%. Anybody around when LinkedIn reported that and they dropped, it was something absolutely astronomical. Like it was crazy. They had dropped like, I forget what the value was. It was disgusting. Yeah, that was my, I felt like that was my lottery ticket right there. Could have been a very, very happy person. So yes, you can probably take 5,000, you know, to a very big number. Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone expected that from that company. That was the thing. I remember an article came out later about how bad they felt about that. That CEO. The CEO was like trying to help his employees and stuff like that. That's just the story I heard. And I started some shares down here on Etsy right around the zone. I could have trimmed already. Decided not to have a trim at up there at my first target. Far as stops go, you probably have to be underneath the zone there. We are starting to bid a little bit here in the ES futures. I'd like to see Roku also start to bid because of that. Amazon just completely down into a quant pivot and the trendy edge. That would have been a great buy at 91, but I'm just now seeing it. Um, Other than that, feels just like yesterday so far. Hmm. For sure. Yeah. Yes. Let's go to AMD. 7235. Damn it. Yeah, HD's chart was beautiful, man. Spoke with Alyssa yesterday about it. That's why I took the butterflies. I wanted the straight up one, and I probably should have taken that, but I didn't. Now let me show you guys really quick a trick. So if you take one of your options on AMD, and you go to create closing order, and let's just like do a hypothetical of what is this away? 73.77, so that's about 60 cents. It's about 30 bucks, 165, 163. Let's pretend we want to sell one at 163. Notice that's right at target, okay? Now let's say that we want to sell one at 74.57. That gives us about $1.40 to the upside. Sorry. And then we come over here and we create, or we sell single, and that's about 60. So let's just say $1.90. Okay. So then sell one of these for $1.90. And then you put it on there and you can see about how far you're off. Okay. So all I got to do is go in there and cancel replace order for the one at 190. And let's put this at like, I don't know, 220. Okay. And 220. It's a little bit too far above. You guys see what I'm doing? Cancel replace order for 220. Let's go down to 210. And we're right on par. So that's how we sell in advance on these options, if that makes any sense. Okay. Come on. And sometimes what's really cool when you do stuff like this, you can see if the premium's actually building because the targets that are here at the targets will actually start coming down. When they start going further away, then obviously the decay is coming out of the chart, so or out of the option. All right, let's go over here to ES futures. See what we got going on. And we should get a trim here in a second. Come on our Etsy. All right, maybe I should heat up my coffee. I'll be right back. Also trim my Roku and my private account, Melissa. I went one strike out of the money from you, I think. Right. Way to trade. Way to trade. Good trade. So Melissa, so you said that picture was when you were in Las Vegas. Is that accurate? Okay. So what do you like to play? Do you play anything at the casino? Okay, blackjack. Only. Okay. So have you played craps before in length or learned a lot about craps or no? Okay. Oh my God. In a cloth. Oh, you're in a cloth diaper. Oh man. Okay. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. We do the same here. So we play card games, especially with Ashley's parents, her mom and her mom's boyfriend. But we do we do a game called Canasta that I just absolutely love. And yeah, we love it. Like we could just, big families during Thanksgiving, stuff like that. We'll set out different tables. But it's such a cool, chill game that you just drink wine or have your favorite cocktails, talk, have appetizers. It's just so fun because it's not really competitive. It's just a great game. Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. That's crazy. That's awesome too. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I remember teaching over at Simpler about just the simplicity of using fibs on intraday trading to keep you in a trade. And I remember that really seemed to resonate with a lot of traders there. And I think I went down the history of like why I decided to do that is because I kept trying to find a way to stay in as well. And I think it came from the idea of when I was doing my fibs and trying to learn from higher time frames. I just thought, why wouldn't this work on a smaller time frame? I did some studies and sure enough, it did. It worked great, and it's like I can't believe more people aren't using this, and so what happens is I go into services. This is actually a really common thing with a lot of services out there, is that people don't know how to stay in a trade or what to use to stay in a trade and how to use it to get in a trade, right? So like on the put side, it's really important. Like try selling or buying puts when we bounce from a downtrend, bounce into that 23 and 38. As long as you're not coming into demand. That's kind of my thing, right? So you do have to like understand where demand is, and hopefully you have an edge there. That's why we have them. So if you're not coming into an edge, you're going down, and then you just kind of bounce out of nowhere, go short at the 38. What was that? So my alerts sound just like the entry. I need to change that, but I'm just don't want to go through all my different stuff and try to find out where it is. But it could have been. I thought I had a trim in for Etsy. Did it? Yeah. No, there it is. How about that Etsy plan for all my equity traders? Or even if you're like trading, if you're trading, options, absolutely work to the tick. Hmm. Yeah. I still have the BA, and I want to see if I got my sell off yet. Give me 1 second. Unfortunately, not. I'm gonna have to get that thing going soon. My cost average is only 50 something cents though, and it's trading at like 47. So, hmm yeah, yeah. I bought out of the money, and I actually trimmed for plus 20%. So I'm sitting okay, not bad. We just need a lot bigger move. And here we are coming up to some pretty crucial areas on ES futures. So right into my upper circle. So I've never traded XLV, but one thing I'm learning is that it is like molasses. So I don't know if it's just because, I bought it at a consolidation period or if it's always like this, but not my type of trade. Like I don't want to sit sideways for weeks. So it's so it's just more my timing right now. Okay, got it. Okay. Hmm. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, the only thing I've been noticing is that it hardly moves, but at the end of the day, it it has a weird bid and ask, so it throws off my PL big time. That's what I'm noticing. So I mean, I got a buy signal on the 4 hour right now, just kind of hanging out. Um, it's been sideways since November the 1st. Today's the 22nd. It's like, come on, man. Um, red to white to green. The reason why I took it is primarily off this weekly. We have an inside and up and a momentum change. I just need 135.28 to break, and hopefully we'll get some momentum there. So, other than that, trying to stay patient. Yeah. And I thought about that. I'm like, well, if I'm bullish sitting over here, maybe I just take something, over there. I don't know if you guys remember me saying that. Oh, my BA might be getting close to a trim here. And I tell you what, Goldman Sachs banks have just been so strong. So my call credits are down about 30%, but I'm trying to be a little patient with this guy. The reason why I sold is because we pushed up right about where I wanted to sell. I'd much rather sell the call credit spreads on a push up than trying to sell them in the middle. I like my risk to reward better. So let me see if I can see that. I mean, it's a beautiful chart though. That's the issue. It's just over and over defies, it's just consolidating, super bullish. So could easily push up to 387 here today on this continued strength. Inside and up on the 5 minute as well. See, if I talk positive about it, maybe it'll go down. Isn't that how it usually works? Unless you're selling credit against it. Does Argentina play football? Soccer. Who is Messi? I mean, seriously. Does he play on Argentina? Are you in one contract of Tesla? Is that what you were saying earlier, Melissa? Okay, gosh. Once again, I thought I traded something, but that was just an alert. Oh, good. I'm gonna try to let those run. I can. I'm just gonna leave them alone. A lot easier in my smaller account. I'm gonna say that too. So if you guys look at through my small account, my gains are like 100, 900%. Like it's easier. I mean, it is. If you're trading a smaller allocation, I feel like it gives you a little bit of leniency, you know? It's something I'm still growing on. If I go bigger in a trade, like it's hard regardless. I look at the technicals, I know it works, but I'm like, oh man, it's difficult. I think it also depends on kind of where you come from. Just being transparent. I didn't always make a lot of money. So like I'm still trying to like figure out, what is a lot of money? You know, I I personally think that, $200 is a lot of money. I've always thought that. It's like $100 is a lot of money. When it's weird, we made reservations. So tonight, guys, kind of breaking the Taco Tuesday tradition because we made reservations 2 weeks ago when we went to the opera at this Italian restaurant and we had to reserve seats. We had to reserve it for 260 bucks just to get into the restaurant because it's a really like important day. Well, one of their best days where you can get a bottle of wine for half off and pizza for like $5. And it's a good restaurant. But it's like, I'm like, what? 260 bucks? It's insane. Just for a reservation. It's like if you don't show up, they keep your 260. Like I'm blown away. So when I make, or see that we can quickly make 200 bucks in the market, I think that's a lot of money. So everyone's different. So my brain's still trying to wrap around, being successful, I guess, and getting there. Yeah, well, yeah, in New York City, I'm sure. But man, we're talking Pensacola. It's so different. So, so different. I think this GS is a one for one trade, if I recall. And I have the option to buy back the short side and go long on the call side, but I'm going to give it a few to see if that's what I want to do. I mean, the fact that I have so much time on these XLVs. Oh, and I do have a session, I believe, over here. Um, Yesterday was funny. We're also getting close to our next target here at 118. So be pulling those stops up to our second target there, which was 116.20 on Etsy. I just realized that my Roku there is almost up 40%. So you guys should be up close to 50, right? Oh yeah, that's right. I'd put you on the spot if I said that. Maybe that was like a trick question. Right after you just said you don't look at it. Took some BBY here. Did they already? No, I don't think so, Omar. Yeah, the dog pound. Maybe they should like create a little group there, right? Yeah? Yeah, again, we talked about this before. And me and a couple people were confused. We're like, wait, Mr. Beagle is Melissa? Like, that makes no sense. And they were like, oh, it's your initials. Yeah. Um, I mean, no. Well, so it's come into the 618. It's flushed the 618 and then we regained it. So we're actually holding the COVID rally. So the 618, right? The golden Fibonacci, it's on my screen right now. Now, when we broke below it, sure, there was an opportunity to go short there. I think there was some data suggesting, from what I understood, that SMH was going to take a hit. But once it reclaimed the 618, I want to be really careful about shorting SMH. What I do see, and what's really important, if we take these Fibonacci's off, we are absolutely at a standstill, which makes sense to me into the holiday season. So notice we have an inside and up on the monthly, and we have an inside and down on the monthly. We have two opposing zones on very big time frames, and look at price, right? So I was doing a consult over the weekend. This to me is an iron condor setup. Not necessarily right now, but this was something you could have seen as soon as we got over the 618. You could have targeted, right, the inside and down, right, with directionals, or you could have went out a couple weeks and just sold iron condors at the 618 and the inside and down formation. So I always get that question like, how do we use our process? It's really straightforward, folks. Inside and downs should cause a rejection. Inside and ups, the right ones. Remember, go through the lessons that I teach you, the right formations, not weak ones. So you want to look for strong opposing zones, and you can do whatever you want with them. Sell iron condors, right? Because what we know is that price comes up into the zone, we expect it to pull back, right? If price were to come down into the inside and up, we expect it to go bid. So selling iron condors here makes sense, right? Or we know that inside and ups lead to inside and downs. So buying, you could have done called debit spreads here. You could have went directional here, right? You could have sold put credit spreads below here. Just showing you the value of these inside and up. So we came into demand July, September, October, November. What we do know is there is demand here, right? We know that people are willing to buy SMH in this zone. That's what we know right now. Straightforward. So every time it comes back there, so that's a really like strong demand zone. For some reason, let's say semis reject here and they do pull back and say we get closer to earnings season, right? I would be expecting semis to start bidding right around this inside and up again. As far as I'm concerned, when you take both of these zones and go like that, that's your range. And we could stay in that range for a very long time. Yeah, as far as like wedges and stuff like that are concerned, I'll leave that up to you guys. I don't really talk too much about that stuff, but I can see what you're talking about. One thing that I would pay attention to, John or Chris, is if we go inside and up on the weekly, take note of that, man. This could be a really nice rally out of here. Okay. Now we are inside and down at the moment. It's kind of like what I'm doing with GS right now. As we get closer to the inside and down, I would much rather try to take, I don't want to go short, but I'd much rather sell call credit spreads up here like this, you know? And does that make sense to you guys? Because it's already shown us that it wants it inside and down, but I don't want to go short because really it's holding a very bullish channel. And you guys can see that right here. It says extremely bullish. And as long as it's holding that, I personally don't want to go short. I'd much rather buy the dip or short it in a different perspective, and that's sell call credit spreads up here. That's like XLF. I mean, a lot of these, if you just come over and use, what can you guys derive from this chart right here? This is XLF. What would you want to do, right? This is where like me trying to sell credit against Goldman Sachs is kind of like, you're really flirting with destruction here, right? So this is the part, so this is where the gamer comes out of me. Yes, I used to play Call of Duty back in the day. I don't care how immature you guys think that is. I loved it and it was fun. And sometimes I feel like when I'm sitting here just being very patient with my positions, it would be really fun because the games that they offer here on Thinkorswim are really boring. Anybody have any suggestions? Are there like some things out there that are free, like software that I can download? Maybe we can fly planes on Microsoft Simulator. I mean, something. Um, oh man, yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember back in the day, people were like, "You play Call of Duty?" And I'm like, "Yeah." There's some like major hand-eye coordination there. Keeps my brain focused. But no, I mean, I'm just sitting here like looking around thinking like I could play Minesweeper, but I mean, that's just a guessing game. I don't think so. Oh, well, um, so it did go offline just now. So give me 1 second. So I don't know if it took it off. Let's see. Let's see. There it goes. Yeah, so this XLF, what I was trying to get at, look at this beautiful possible inside and up, and this is after the huge rip they've had. Some information told me, and I honestly, guys, I'm really ignorant when it comes to this type of stuff, but there are people that talk to me in here. They give me like some insight on some things that of their opinions, and what I keep being told is that banks should be really set for 2023. I don't know if that's accurate though. I just always look at the technicals. What was that? I think I might have sold my last piece of. That might have been our. Oh, so yeah, so we hit our 118.15 target. So that was $3 on equity there. That was a nice trade. So if you took options there, delta of 50, then that's 150 per contract. Literally right down to the line and went up. It was weird. Yeah, so weird. You'll see. It just gets worse and worse, and then you just sound egotistical. I mean, I'm like, I've been with so many people. I won't say names, but I tried to help somebody not too long ago, and literally they just lose over and over and over. Their losing percentage is so bad, or their win percentage, however you look at it, and they just won't listen to me. Like I try to teach them over and over, and there's just so much ego in trading, it drives me crazy. It's like they could sit here and watch us win 80% of the time and they win 20% of the time, but they're still too egotistical to be like, what am I doing wrong? And I think that's what defines you. I think that's what makes you a good trader is to put the ego aside and go, hey, somebody's doing something that's working. How can I learn this? Right? I mean, and the whole thing is you never stop learning, folks. Like, I feel like I get better every single day. There's not any time that I'm like, I feel safe. Like, seriously. Well, unless we're up like, 300% in something and I can put a stop, I feel safe. But I really do, like, it's hard for me sometimes. So I start to get a little sarcastic every once in a while, just being honest. Oh, yeah, for sure. sounds like a sleepyhead. Wake up, Homer. He he came in here. He's like, "Hello." He literally looks like his profile picture right now, or sounds like him. Yeah, yeah. Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Let me go ahead and get a mic check. And I just want to make sure I'm also on and I got the right schedule here yesterday because I'm good. I'm good, Lee. Okay, so this time my eyeballs are not deceiving me. So yeah, I'm supposed to be here. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Let's go ahead and go over again. I'm going to do the same thing with you folks. Um, if you have any questions, we'll get to those after I review what I feel like is the most important part of reviewing the market before we get started.